Hi everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about my crafting journey, which usually revolves around cross stitch with some knitting and crochet thrown in. It's summer sock camp, so there's a lot of knitting going on. First, before we talk about what's been going on the last week, I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy schedules to hang out with me for 20 minutes or so each week and listen to me ramble on about my crafts. I know that there's a lot of people out here doing the same thing, so I do appreciate you stopping by. I've had a lot of new viewers the last couple of weeks and a couple handfuls of subscribers. Thank you so much. I sure do appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you've been with me for a while, you may be able to tell that my voice is not the same. I'm not going to talk in too much detail, but I did pick up COVID-19. I'm not exactly sure where, but I came down with it last week. I'm still recovering and I get to go back to work tomorrow. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm going to anyways, and we'll see what happens. So also with that, I haven't done a lot of crafting because I haven't felt very well. Even though I had flu-like symptoms, they went away pretty quickly. But my throat hurt so darn bad that I just couldn't even focus a lot of the times. But I did get a little bit of progress on a couple of things, and I am here to show you that. First up, I'm going to show you the hat. And this is the Chiltern hat by Theresa. I can't remember her name, but of course it will be down below in the description box. And this is the Mother's Day present that I got from my family, the yarn and the pattern. And I'm just about done. I know that I said that I was going to have this done Monday or Tuesday of last week, but I just couldn't help myself and cast on a sock, which you will see in a little bit. So what I was doing was bouncing back and forth a little bit, work on the sock for a little bit, do a couple rows, because this pattern, while it's not hard, you kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing, because if you don't put the stitches in the right spot, your pattern's not going to work out. So here is my Chiltern hat. I only have, I think 9 rows to go before the end of the hat. And it does seem a little bit bigger than I was hoping, and I think this might actually fit me. I'm really excited about it. It's squishy and soft, and I'm ready to get to the end. The last couple of rows here aren't that hard. It's just, like I said, I wasn't well. My family picked up this Good For You yarn. I don't know how to say that, but that's the line. I have Abyss and Jade are the colorways. And I have quite a bit left. Here, let me show you. Because I accidentally cast on the child size, but still, I mean, I have a bit of the Jade left, but not a ton. It does seem like a good amount still, but I don't know how much that would have lasted. So I'm kind of glad that I cast on the child size versus the adult large, because I don't know if this would have been enough. Technically speaking, if I had got gauge, both of these together would have been enough. Obviously, I have a lot more of the gray, the Abyss. But I would have hated to run out and have to go buy more. I mean, the yarn's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. And I wouldn't want all the leftovers. So I am really happy with this hat. Even if it doesn't fit me and I have to find a child to wear it, or a parent to buy it for their child or something, you know, I am really happy with it. Excuse me. And I really like, and someone else said this too, because I don't know if you know this, but on Ravelry, if you go and look at a pattern and then you scroll down on the pattern page, or maybe it's at the top, you click on, there's a link projects, and it will show you anyone that has linked the pattern as a project in their page. So there's 13 total, but 2 of them are hers. One is the regular version and one the slouchy version. So there's 11 others. And I read one, and what that knitter said is that she liked that the designer incorporated the decrease stitches in with the pattern to keep the pattern going all the way up the crown. And I think that she's right. I think it would have been not as good if she did a traditional decrease on the crown and not incorporated it into the pattern. So I am really happy about that hat all the way around. Whether it will fit me or not, I'm really happy. So then I dug out, I didn't have to dig very far. It was right next to me in my recliner. I had a knitting bag from last summer sock camp on my shelf, and it's this colorway by lolodidit. It's Happiness from the Quotable Dumbledore Club. This was supposed to be made last year in a pattern called Tantamount by Hunter Hammerson, and it did not work out. So this year I decided to do, and last week I couldn't think of the name of the pattern of the sock, but I remember it's called Devil's Snare, and it's from Harry Potter, which is fitting because the yarn is inspired by Dumbledore from Harry Potter. And I have got to tell you that this sock was being a little devil to me, and I could not get it. It's a 10-row repeat. It's not very hard. It's pretty intuitive a little bit because each row pretty much ends and begins the same way every single time. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, so you can go ahead and go check it out. I'm not giving away any secrets. It's a lace pattern. I've made the Foxtrot cardigan by Marie Green. I can do lace. I can do this, and it was giving me a lot of trouble. So after the second time that I had to rip out more than 10 rows all the way back to the cuff, I decided I was going to use a lifeline. So this is the back. I just want to show you that so you can see how the color is knitting up. And then this is the front. And you may not be able to see the lace very well, but it is there. And I have a hot pink lifeline in. So every time that I get done with row 10 on the pattern repeat, I'm putting in a lifeline. So that way, at least I can rip back to there and not rip back all the way to the cuff and then have to pick up the stitches because I'm not really good at that. I did manage it twice, so I am proud of myself. But I was struggling. But I am 3 repeats in, and I need to do 4 repeats for my leg. So, but I was thinking the other night, man, I really hate that sock. And it's probably just because it was giving me such fits at the beginning. But then, I don't know, it just looks like the one side, the beginning of the rows aren't lining up. I don't know why that would be. I don't know, but it's okay. I'm going to keep going. I am definitely not going to rip this out again and do it over. I'm just going to keep going. All my stitch counts match. Everything looks the same, but I'm going to keep going. So, I did look into the Saginaw County Fair a little bit further. You can register online and, or in paper and drop it off in person or mail it in or whatever. I found that for me as a new person wanting to register for the fair, it's really confusing to me because it says your fees and your registration are due by the 15th of July. I believe it said 15th of July. Hopefully it's not the 1st because then I'm running out of time. And at first when I was trying to register, like I created my account and I'm adding like the classes and categories and stuff that I wanted to do. And it says 0, 0, 0, 0. And I'm like, well, what fees are there? Well, then finally you click continue on the bottom when you're all done adding your things to the shopping cart, and it takes you to the exhibitor fee. So it does look like it's a $15 exhibitor fee to register for the fair, but I figure that's a fair price because the winners get a little premium You know, it's not much, but it's something. And I think I'm going to put in 5 items total. I'm going to put in the Hermione's Everyday Socks, the Chiltern hat, and then 3 cross stitches. So that would equal $3 a piece. And one of my coworkers was like, "Oh my gosh, you're entering the fair?" And I said yes. So she thought that was pretty exciting. So let me know, you know, if you have, Peggy and I talked about it and she looked into it too. Let me know if you have ever entered anything into your fair and how you think it went. And I do think that I'm going to put in the religious category, the Amazing Grace, because there's nature, words, religion, and other. And I was thinking about his name is Jesus for the words, because even though it is religious and it's about Jesus, it is 100% words. So I figured it actually met that category the best. And then I could do Amazing Grace, even though it has words, it's, you know, more religious. Well, I think it fits the religious better than the words. I don't know. They probably fit each equally, but this is the way that I decided to break it up. And I'm sorry that I'm rambling and I'm having a hard time focusing. So his name is Jesus into the words category and Amazing Grace into the religious category. And I said, well, even though some of my stitches aren't very great and I made some mistakes, and my daughter says, I think she's completely a gift from God. She says, but the feedback that you will get will be helpful. So even though I will probably not get a ribbon for that unless no one else puts one into that category, she's absolutely correct that even if I don't get one, then I will get some feedback. I did start that project when I came back to stitching a couple years ago, so I didn't really know what I was doing, and I made some mistakes, and some of my stitches are pretty horrible. So anyways, I have one more project to talk to you about before I leave you for the week, and that is Keslyn's Lady Liberty. And I know that you guys really liked this one from last week. I think that, you know, even though I have well over 20 projects started, I just needed a little something. And I didn't really care what I started, but I knew that this one was all kitted up. I just needed to come cut the fabric. I was going to start the bee, but come to find out, I only have the black. I don't have any of the yellow. There's 2 yellows in here, 444 and 445. I don't have them. So I put it back up here and started Lady Liberty. Now, if you remember from our discussion last week, the designer of Keslyn stitched this on 25 count white Lugano 1/1 using Gloriana threads. I am using classic Colorworks, Blacksmith blue, and is it ribbon red or licorice? Ribbon red, which has some pretty cool variegation in it. I'm not really finding any in the blue so far, but that's okay. I'm okay with this. So I did start this yesterday, I believe. My husband wanted to take a nap, so I was watching some TV, I think, and I started this. This is on 28 count white Monaco, which is a cotton even weave, 1/1. Now, I don't necessarily like stitching with one strand because I have trouble starting and stopping, especially 1/1. I'm finding that I can't get my needle back through, so if anyone has a tip on how to end your threads, I'm not really into learning how to do the pin stitch. So if you have any other suggestion for me, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go over top of the thread with the next set of stitches, because there's a lot of block stitching on this, so I'm sure that I can figure it out. Okay, so I did count my stitches. This is 180 stitches. That little tiny piece is 180 stitches because it's 1/1. I will not count my stitches every single time, but I wanted to show my family. I'm like, hey, this is 180 stitches. And it didn't take me that long to do. I know that you're supposed to do things a certain way when you're doing 1/1. I don't think I'm doing it necessarily correctly, but I get the concept of you don't want your thread to slip under the wafts and the wefts. So I am stitching differently than what I normally would to try to prevent that from happening. But it's so thick. Not thick. The stitches are just so tight together. I don't know how they would slide around. But anyway, this is the top left corner. I don't like stitching down and to the right. So what I did is I actually flipped it over so that way I could be down at the bottom right corner. So I just turned my pattern upside down. I'm stitching that way. And that works better for me because on the pattern from the bottom corner to get up to the letters was over 70 stitches that I would have had to count to get up there. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. And then, yeah, it just wasn't happening. So I figured that the best place to start was the top corner. I just flipped it like this, so I will be stitching this way. And I've heard of other people doing that too because they like, you know, for whatever reason, they like to stitch in their, you know, start stitching in that sweet spot of theirs. And the pattern didn't have it for them, so they just flipped it and then they were able to start in whatever corner they wanted to. This one, the pattern does not have, I mean, it has the grid marks, but it doesn't have the center marked, and it doesn't have the stitches, you know, on the grid, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 across the top and the side. It doesn't have those numbered either, which I very well could have easily done that myself and found the center stitches, but this was just as easy for me. I just looking at it for a few minutes, it was the easiest option. So I probably won't work on this anymore until July when I do my patriotic stitching. It will take me a long time because there's a whole heck of a lot of stitches in there, and that was 180. But I think that my family is going to enjoy it when I do get it done. Hopefully I've finished healing and recovering from this sickness, and I'll be able to get back to things, because I feel like sitting here, even though I'm recovering, I know that you have to rest in order to recover, but sitting here doing nothing is killing me just as much as the sore throat was. So, but I just couldn't find the motivation to do anything. I'm sure that you all have felt that, regardless of whether or not you've had COVID-19 or not, that you felt that way when you got the flu or a cold, or, you know, just feeling down for whatever reason. So I'm hoping that I can bounce back soon, because I am so behind on my sock progress. I was hoping to have a whole sock done by the end of the week, and I don't even have the leg done, but it's okay. I am contemplating maybe not doing the designer of the sock said that you can carry it down the foot, and I'm wondering if I don't carry it down the foot and I just have it on the leg, because the thought of having to do this all over again for another sock. But anyway, I'll figure it out. That, I think, is all that I have for you. Obviously, I don't have any purchases because I didn't go anywhere. But that's okay. I'm just looking around this room. I have so much yarn and so much craft stuff that I really don't need to buy anything else, do I? I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to share. I hope that you all stay safe and well. I hope that you have a great day. Today's beautiful outside. It's Monday, June 27th. It's such a beautiful day outside. I wish that I could go for a walk, but even though it's outside, I think I should just stay in my own yard. Hope you have a great week. Let me know what you're working on. Glad that you're here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for commenting. You guys always give me such inspiration and encouragement to keep on going when sometimes I feel like I don't want to do these videos anymore. So thank you so much. Until next week, bye.